He's won races in French F4 and Formula Regional, and in F3 Asia he nearly took the championship. He's supporting F1 this year in Formula 3, and who knows just how far he can go. Today we're in the Grandstand with Pierre-Louis Chovet.
We are in the Grandstand with Pierre-Louis Chovet today. How are you, Pierre?
I'm fine, thanks.
You're sitting there in Switzerland, I believe. How's a Swiss spring going?
Honestly, really nice. I mean, the weather is a bit cold, but because we are close to the Alps mountain. But I'm enjoying my my work time here in Jenzer Motorsport.
Yeah, it's not a bad office to be having that time near the Alps in Switzerland. Very, very jealous of you, and of course, very, very different from Dubai and Abu Dhabi, where you just spend quite a lot of time. So we're talking now a couple of weeks after the F3 Asian Championship finished, and you had a very successful campaign. So how do you view the championship looking back on it now?
Yeah, it was a really productive experience with, without competitors. I mean, the level was quite high with three F3 drivers and also three F2 drivers and F2 winners. So the high level was a nice preparation before the main championship, which is FIA Formula 3 for me.
It was very entertaining to watch, of course. You were dominant in so many races. So you were leading the championship for quite some time, and of course that last round it all unravelled. Are you disappointed to have come second, or are you actually quite happy now you look back on it to think, that's not where I expected to come?
I'm actually quite happy because for sure I was disappointed on the moment because I was aiming to win the championship after, let's say, the nice round 4 I have had in Dubai. Now looking backwards, I will take the positive out of it, and I performed quite well with the most wins of the championship, 6. So I'm already proud about that, and I will learn from this experience to, to win the next championship battles if it happens again.
Yeah, well, F3 is obviously coming up, but yeah, sticking on F3 Asia for the moment. You mentioned that you're the only driver to win 6 races, but we saw early on Deruvela and Zhou, who are of course F2 and very experienced, a lot more experienced than yourself, and they were winning races early on, but then you became the first driver to win 3 races in the championship. Was that something you expected before you went in, to be going there and beating those guys? At the moment, you mentioned that you're the only driver to win 6 races, but we saw early on Deruvela and Zhou, who are of course F2 and very experienced, a lot more experienced than yourself, and they were winning races early on, but then you became the first driver to win 3 races in the championship. Was that something you expected before you went in, to be going there and beating those guys?
It's always hard to predict. I mean, for sure the entry list of the championship was relevant, and the championship was the level was really high. So honestly, I wasn't expecting to win 3 races, but after my first win, let's say, I've got more confidence for the rest of the championship, and I tried to work in the same way, and I was really happy about that.
Did you just completely different from that? Were you speaking to those guys? Were those guys, looking at you thinking, "Oh wow, who are you? Wasn't aware that we're going to have other competition apart from the F2 drivers"?
I mean, when I was speaking with them at the beginning, they didn't know me, so I was a bit surprised, let's say, of the beginning of the championship. And then, after 3 or 4 wins, we started to speak about, the championship, and we just talked about our experience in this championship, and it was nice. But at the beginning, I didn't speak with them because I was quite new, and they didn't know me at that time.
Could you tell when you were racing on track that, that's Zhou, he's from Formula 2, and that's Beganovic, he's from Formula Regional and so on. Is that stuff that you could tell when you were racing against them, those different experience levels?
Each driver has his experience and driving style. Let's say whatever the championship he's coming from. But yeah, I think that F2 drivers were maybe a bit more experienced when they wanted to protect their position, or let's say sometimes a bit more conservative when they wanted to attack other cars. But apart from that, I tried, let's say, to adapt to each drivers and each situations to get the best out of it and to try to win the race. So.
You did well winning those races as well. So is that something that during those races, it was so thick and fast, it was, I think it was 15 races in just 3-4 weeks, right? So was that something that helped you learn the different abilities of those drivers to have races against them, you know, almost every day?
For sure, it helped to compete against experienced driver like that. I learned from them also, like especially on the defensive side, let's say. They are quite clever. So yeah, I improved in the championships thanks to other drivers too.
So just when you talk about those guys being clever, is that something that's like in regards to the defensive driving, the positioning of the car, or is it when they're starting to accelerate down the straights? What sort of examples do you have for those guys being a bit more clever than you're used to?
But let's say that, yeah, they are protecting only the places where it's risky for them, and then they try just to make the best corners as possible when it's not possible to overtake. And sometimes, yeah, they try to slow down a bit at the apex to have a great exit. And yeah, some little techniques and skills that they have, and I learned from them.
One of the things you don't want to be copying from those guys was at race 12 when you started on, I think it's in 3rd place, and right in front of you, both of the guys on the front row stalled on the grid. Was that scary for you, seeing that when you just put your foot down, or was that just like, yes, I've got the lead?
Yeah, for sure. I think that yeah, every driver has of luck and bad luck during a championship, and so for sure when I started and I overtook them, yeah, I was just happy at the moment for maybe 3 seconds, and then I just tried to focus on my driving and to bring back home the win, which is what I did. So I was happy and proud about that. Yeah, it can happen. It also happened to me at the beginning of the championship, and I think it's part of motorsport.
Yeah, well, part of motorsport is those bits of poor fortune, and of course that was in the round 4 of 5, and that was when everything was on the up for you. Then round 5 came around and you had some unfortunate races. That last round, how did you handle going into it leading the championship? And of course, Joe overtook you and ultimately won it. Did you find that tough to handle going from race to race, or was the fact that you had the races so close together something that was actually helpful?
Yeah, in fact, I think that was helpful because, for example, yeah, when we wanted to try something on the car, and yeah, we wanted to try it quickly, let's say. So that was, let's say, nice to have really close test days with the previous races to try some setups. And yeah, I just went into the last round thinking about race 13, then race 14 and race 15. I just tried to take it race by race, but unfortunately from the free practice onwards we didn't have the performance. We were like P6, P7, struggling to, let's say, to make the tire works. But anyway, it wasn't the best weekend for sure, but we will learn from that, and we will try to be more reactive maybe, because maybe that was the issue to perform better in terms of points on this let's say on this last round.
You had 6 races at the same track, which that's a lot of laps going around Abu Dhabi. Was that something that you found as heaven, or was that hell?
Honestly, like we had the corkscrew version of the track, and it was really fun. Like it was quite unusual, and it was fun and technical, so I enjoyed it. And after whatever the track, you need to focus on your performance, and I mean it's the same calendar for everyone. Like we all had 6 races on the same track, and you need to be just as quick as possible, and to get the best out of it. Like to try to win the most races. And I think on round 2 and 3, so the 6 races on the same track in a row, I won 3 of them. So I just focused on the points, let's say, on the wins.
Before Formula 3 Asia, you've of course come through the karting ladder, you've been doing the single seaters and so on, but up until F3 Asia, you didn't really have a full championship battle where you were leading and then in a really strong position to go and take it right at the end. So what changed?
I started also the collaboration with a new engineer, which will be also my engineer in Formula 3 this year. For sure, this changed. Then it was great to fight for the championship. At the beginning, in fact, I was just thinking about, let's say, doing the best results as possible. And then, after round 3, round 4, I was in position to let's say, to aim for the win of the championship. So it was really nice. But I will, let's say, I will learn from this last round, which wasn't great, and just try to be better for my next championship battle. It was, let's say, a first experience, let's say, fighting for a title. So it was nice to fight for it and learn from it for the future.
So you're saying about having this new race engineer then. So what is it that you've, I don't know, got a rapport with them? Is it something that they've given different levels of insight or asked you different questions in terms of getting the car set up? What is it about them?
Yeah, in fact, my new engineer didn't know the car before going to F3 Asia, like the regional car. And so, in fact, he was like quite open-minded, and we tried many things on the car to try and see what was working well and not. And so I think by trying many things, but always one by one, not let's say, not doing too many things in the meantime. We worked in the nice, let's say, in the good direction, and that's why afterwards we were able to, let's say, to be reactive and change the setups if needed from a race to another. Yeah.
That's great. So is that something you're obviously say you're working with them this year as well? So is that something that you think that collaboration is going to be a springboard for further impressive races for you, that you'll be able to have that sort of consistency with this engineer?
I think the collaboration with your engineer is really important, because you are making the results, let's say, as a team, and you need to be confident, let's say, in both sides. To work in the good direction, to be, let's say, the engineer needs to hear the driver and his, let's say, feelings, and in the meantime, the driver needs to adapt to the car and, let's say, regarding the advices of his engineer. Yeah.
So talking about changes then, so what changed last year? That you were in Formula Regional, and I think it's fair to say that it was fairly inconsistent in the early days. I think you had an early podium, but you seemed to really improve in the latter half. And coincidentally, Hauger joined the team as well. I don't think with Prima Racing that a championship fight was really on the cards, but what changed on that second half? Was it the engineer? Was it you? Was it Hauger joining the team?
Yeah, at the beginning of the championship, I was fighting against Ferrari and Red Bull drivers because also Yuri Vips was there. And I mean, the team lineups were really strong against us, while I was alone for the first half of the season. So yeah, it wasn't helpful in some occasions because we had to find, let's say, really quickly the setups. Being alone, it wasn't the easiest, let's say, part of the job. And when Dennis came, he helped the team in general to improve technically. And we were, I think, quite on the same level of speed with the regional. And thanks to that, we, in the first round where he was there, I made the first pole. He made the second, best lap time in qualifying too. And I won my first race in Barcelona also. So yeah, I think having a quick teammate behind you helps a lot. Oh yeah.
You're mentioning a quick teammate, and Dennis certainly has some talent. So, did you find anything working with a driver who has that Red Bull backing? Was that something that you found that sort of experience or that sort of Red Bull backing? He might have had some extra education that you've not been fortunate to have.
Yeah, maybe technically speaking, thanks to his experience with the Red Bull Academy. He was also, let's say, trying more things on the car. So he helped me also to, let's say, to go in this direction and just try more things and see what was happening. Sometimes we were going in the wrong direction, but a few times. And the rest of, the free practice, we were always improving. So he helped us technically speaking. Yeah.
Sounds like you're going through quite a lot of learning yourself right now. That sounds like something you're very open to. So are you expecting this season coming up in Formula 3? Is that something you're expecting to be doing as well, just to be learning throughout the season, or are you hoping to be going in after your F3 Asia experiences? Are you expecting to go in and hit the ground running?
Well, for this year, I expect to do my best. We saw that, Jenzer in the past, they won races and made podiums. So I'm aiming also for this year because I think they are quite professional, and also the relation with my engineer is really nice. So I will for sure learn from my teammates because you can always learn from them, and then I will try to do my best in the races. That's all I can say for the moment. Yeah.
So of course you had a little bit of experience in Formula 3 last year, but of course the first weekend that you had there ended in the barriers. Does that knock your confidence a little bit? You seem to jump back, of course, the next race, but was that a bit of an embarrassing thing that you had to kind of just say, sorry guys, I'm just inexperienced, or how did you handle that first race weekend?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's part of, the racing driver learning process. But for sure, I apologize to my team because, it's not something you want to see. And but I'm taking, the mistakes to my advantage to get better afterwards. I pushed a bit too much in this situation, and I knew not how to do it for the next race. So and then I think I proved in Monza 1 week after that I was able to do nice races and recover because I had a hard quali with penalties, but at the end I came back to P7 and then P6 due to a penalty in race 2. So I learned from it and made some nice overtakes afterwards.
Yeah, well, learning from it does sound like something that you did, because like you mentioned, that Monza race was quite chaotic, I guess, but Formula 3 has quite a reputation for being so unpredictable and chaotic, and with 30 cars, it's, no wonder. Is that something that you learned from with that Spa weekend? You've been used to racing against 10 or so drivers in Formula Regional, that maybe you can just not be as aggressive, or you say you tried to go a bit too hard and ended in the barriers. Is it something you thought, I could be patient here, and then P6 was the final result?
For sure, I mean, the competition level is really high. I mean, having 30 cars equal, for sure, let's say there is some movement in the back, like it's quite unpredictable, as you say. And the level, let's say the density of level is really high, because you have, let's say, one of the top, junior drivers coming from Formula Renault, Formula Regional. So everyone is really on it, let's say, in this championship. And I really enjoyed it, with more overtakes, first of all, compared to Regional. The DRS, also to manage the virtual safety car with, you have a delta to respect. So sometimes you can gain or lose with the guys in front of you. So I had to manage this, and then it was pure racing, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I bet. And of course, you're doing it with the support to Formula One, and you're the only support to Formula One you've got W Series as well, but you don't have Formula 2 as the big brother this year to steal some of the limelight. So you're expecting to have even more Formula One personnel keeping an eye on the drives, because of course they're looking at how you guys do to see where there might be options to overtake. Is that something you think you might get, talent spotted for an academy perhaps?
Yeah, we'll just try to make my best, as I did in Asian F3, to make some clever move, and to make the best races as possible, and to show, let's say, my fighting spirit. And I think at let's say my age, every driver is aiming for Formula One, as I do. And I think it should come naturally. Like in terms of academy, after the results, it should come naturally. Let's say to enter into one of them. But first of all, I want to focus on this year and my races. Yeah.
How did the team Jenzer come around? Because you did quite a few tests with several teams last year. How did you land that gig?
So in fact, I had several options, because also I tested with several teams, and the feeling from the first meeting onwards was really good with Jenzer, and I also felt the managers are really close to the technical department, let's say, technical side of things. And I like that it's quite a family team, and I think I will improve in this environment.
So was it something, if I can ask, was it something that you had a choice of teams that you could have gone to, that you had negotiations ongoing with them?
At one point I had the choice, and I decided to go with Jenzer. So then we made the announcement. I think it was end of December or beginning of January, before the Asian F3, and I think I made a good choice, and I will learn from their experience also as a team, and as Yuki Tsunoda was racing with them also in 2019. It gave experience also to the team and data, so I'm quite confident about that.
You might be able to have a little conversation with Yuki with those sorts of connections at the races this year, possibly then, yeah. So what do you think that Jenzer are going to be aiming for this year? Do you think podiums are a realistic possibility?
They are aiming for victories, as I do, for sure. They achieved already some in the past with some podiums. I think now the lineup will be quite strong with Callan Williams doing some nice winter tests end of 2020, and also nice collaboration with the team in general and my engineer. I think we can achieve something great this year.
So how well do you know your teammates? You mentioned Callan there, and it's Philip Ugran that you've got as well. So are you already friendly with them? Have the team put you guys in touch? Have you got WhatsApp groups or you message?
Yeah. For the moment, I didn't I didn't see Philip in real, but I just had a chat with him. And now I'm in the flat, in fact, of one of the engineer and the one of Callan. So we are living together. So we're having dinner together and everything. So we're already starting to speak a bit and about our experience about this year, about simulation, about many things like that. And we're kind of friendly.
Great. So are you doing training together? I can see a bicycle in the background. Are you going to go for cycles around the Alps all as a team?
Yeah. So we have let's say road cycling bikes, like 3 in total, and sometimes we go for a ride and just to take the Swiss Alps air. And no, it's nice. I mean, to do sports on the outside with other drivers and let's say people from the team.
Yeah, I can't think of many better places to go for a cycle. And of course, you're going to be going for cycles presumably around the track. And I'm just looking at the Formula 3 calendar this year, and I think you guys have it quite a lot better than Formula 2. So you're starting off at Barcelona, and hopefully that happens. We've heard that the Barcelona testing has been delayed. From there, then you've got France, Red Bull Ring, Hungaroring, Spa, Zandvoort, and then Kota. That's quite a good calendar. Which of those tracks are you most excited for?
I like my home track, Paul Ricard, because I'm living only 45 minutes far from it, and I have good relation with the circuit. Then I'm also let's say expecting for nice races in Spa, because I mean, as we all know, it's a really nice track, technical, long, and with high speed corners and bunkings and everything. So I'm quite excited, and Kota for sure, because it will be for sure, I mean, the first time for me there. And I see it as a really, really nice track, so I'm excited about that. And honestly, when I saw the calendar, I was really happy about the dates, because we have like really nice tracks. Like also Hungaroring, Zandvoort, the new Zandvoort will be nice to drive on. And I'm looking forward, let's say, to having some exciting races.
I think most of those tracks are going to be perfect for overtaking and stuff as well. And I think by the time you get round to Kota as well, that fans will almost certainly be attending that. So that's a great place for a season finale.
Because I think you have many overtake places or opportunities, like T1, which is quite open. Also in the back straights, quite long back straight with the DRS. And also the tire deck will be quite important, I think, with all the S's at the beginning. A lot of let's say downforce and pressure on the tires. I think it will bring nice races to the fans.
I certainly hope so. I think like I say, all those tracks are terrific. And of course, your sponsor, Travel Planet, they'll be getting you to do some reconnaissance work, going to all these different places. You're going to be getting the miles in. So how important are those guys for your career?
They are first of all, it's my main sponsor. In fact, I struggled a lot at the beginning of my career, especially in go-karts, because my parents are let's say from the working class. And yeah, I couldn't do more than 5-6 kart races during, let's say, the year where I struggled. So after 6 months, my parents told me, okay, you need to find sponsors. So we'll make like a PowerPoint book, and you will go and search for sponsors, because this is your chance. And I did so. I went alone. So from the age of 12 years old. So let's say the managers were quite impressed, and so they started to help me. And I found Travel Planet end of 2000, let's say in the middle of the season of 2019. And and we signed an agreement in 2020. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. And they are my main sponsors, and I'm really thankful, let's say, to them, because it changed my life. I mean, now I'm able to do Asian F3, FIA F3, and without my sponsors, it would have been impossible even to do one race. So
you're doing so well for them, and of course I think that's paying dividends for them now. Now you're going to be in Formula 3 this season, so it sounds like it's mutually beneficial, and you can give them some travel tips from all the places you'll be visiting this year. I just want to mention quickly that driver academies, that would have, you're mentioning there that you had to go at such a young age to look for sponsorship. And of course, if you were part of, we mentioned Dennis earlier and Yuri Vips and so on, if Red Bull were to be adding you to their academy, that's something you don't really have to worry about. So is that something that you'd like to be going into a driver academy? Is that something that you have knocked on doors to ask about?
Yeah, I think it can bring me some nice skills, and let's say an F1 team experience. So yeah, I think it's really valuable. And I think the best way to integrate an academy is to perform and do your own job. And I would really like to be part of an academy, for sure.
So do you think Alpine Academy, that they'd love to have a French driver win Formula 1 for them? Is that something that you think you could maybe get into?
Sure, the project would be nice. And there is already another French Victor Martins in it. But for sure, I would be more than happy to integrate their academy. Let's say if I'm performing well this year, and I will just try to focus on my job. But for sure, I would be happy to join them. Yeah.
Of course. Well, you're mentioning Martins there, and of course, France seems to be going through a little bit of a revolution with race drivers. It had a fairly slow period with without much success. That you've gone from Prost dominating for so long, and it's been so long since then. I think it was Gasly, I can't remember how many years it was, when he won at Monza last year. So how are you seeing the interest in France improve?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting better, because for around 10 years, let's say the passion of motorsport in France went maybe a bit down, especially after, let's say, the death of Jules Bianchi, and then now of Antoine. But thanks to those drivers such as Gasly, Ocon, Pourchaire, Martins, and now myself in F3, I think the excitement is coming back from the country. So this is nice.
Are you seeing that reflected in the fans that you're getting? Are you getting a lot more, Instagram and Twitter followers, a lot more interaction? Is that something you've noticed?
More French people are getting into motorsport. Let's say, bigger, and I can feel it. Like I have more French French people that are trying to talk with me and interact on my social media. So yeah, I'm happy about that.
We don't want to think of the negatives, but we've seen historically Nick de Vries didn't make it to Formula One, but he got that Formula E seat. Is that something you'd be interested in? Would you be happy to go into Formula E if a Formula One door just wasn't open?
So yeah, for sure. For the moment, my target is F1. There is no doubt on this. I'm 100% focused on this target. But yeah, at one point, if I can't, let's say, achieve it, I mean, if there is no place and I'm locked, yeah, for sure, I will be open to look at series as WEC or Formula E. I really like, let's say, Le Mans race. It's like one of the Triple Crown, so it's really nice. I'm always watching it, and I mean the level in Formula E, the driver level is really high. So yeah, I will be happy to battle against top competitors and, let's say, high level of competition championship. So yeah, for the moment, the number one target is F1, but I will be open to see other series if at one point I can't go into F1.
Le Mans, you mentioned, you're close to Paul Ricard, but have you been to Le Mans? Have you been to the 24-hour race? Would you like to go?
I've been twice to the 24 hours of Le Mans, and yeah, it was a really nice experience. I mean, 24 hours is something special, and also with so many different cars and let's say manufacturers like in GT you have Corvette, Aston Martin, Porsche, and others, and you have now Audi coming back in LMDH, let's say LMP1, but let's say in the main category. With Porsche, also Toyota, Peugeot. So yeah, I'm really fan of Le Mans, and when I've been there, I was really impressed about that race.
Yeah, I'd love to go maybe one day. Now, to close things off, we've got some questions from fans. Oscar Pierre-Louis Marcus asks, are you planning for 1 or 2 seasons in Formula 3?
No, for the moment the goal is to perform this season and then to integrate a top team in F2. So my target is to perform, but to do 1 season in F3. Yes.
Okay, well, Team Beganovic, and they've been very active following Grand Prix Grandstand, thank you. They ask, what is your favourite Asian F3 race?
My first win was really nice because I struggled a bit at the start and I had to overtake Dino and then Roy Nissany. And I nearly broke my front wing. So it was like tough battle, and the win was one of the nicest one. I would say my first win, and also the battle against Gian Daruvala, starting from P2 in Abu Dhabi Corkscrew racetrack. It was really nice.
Yeah, you had quite a lot of battles against everybody there, eh? Manon Posthumus has asked, biggest achievement of your career so far?
I think my, let's say, vice champion title in Asian F3 was really nice regarding, let's say, the championship level. So let's say in single seater, I think it's my best achievement so far. Yeah.
Gotti Belilla 24 has asked, who is your best friend in racing?
My best friend in racing. I don't have many friends, to be honest, but I mean, maybe Jack Crawford or Francesco Pizzi.
That's makes me feel sad you say you don't have any friends. I hope that you've just been just in racing. You've got plenty of friends back home, I'm certain.
No, I mean, but in racing, no, I mean, in the racing part, I don't have many friends, but yeah, outside for sure.
Daniel Asti Morena has asked, who is your current favourite F1 team and driver?
Current favourite F1 team? I've been a fan of McLaren for years. I like McLaren. I would say it's fair to say Alpine right now because I really like. First of all, it's a French team, and I'm let's say wishing them the best for this season. And driver, I would say. Yeah, I really like Lewis Hamilton for his speed. For sure, he's really quick, and there is no doubt on that. And yeah, I'm trying to learn from from videos and also from the past because he's a really quick driver. And then I really like Alonso for his battle skills. Let's say during the race, he's quite impressive on that and clever. So yeah, I think Hamilton and Alonso.
Yeah, it's quite a lineup McLaren had. That would have been a great year for you back in 2007. All three of them all together. Follow-up question, I guess, a bonus one from me. What's your favourite livery for this season?
For the moment, Alpine. Yeah. In fact, every livery is now released. So yeah, Alpine.
Final question. This one's the most important one because you may lose or gain quite a lot of fans. And this one comes from Bax Marink. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
No. No. Let's say I like salty and sugar. How do you say plates? But no. I like more Italian pizzas, but like classic ones. Just with prosciutto, mozzarella, and and a bit of salad. That's all. Yeah.
Well, you've made sure that you've gained or you've kept all of your Italian fans by respecting their legacy. So that's a good place to end it. So Pierre-Louis Chovet, thank you for joining us in the Grandstand today. It's been great, and hopefully we can speak to you later in the season when you might be fighting for those wins.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to having some great results and speak again with you.